Hello everybody, Eaglefirefly Gaming here, and I hope you are all doing good. Today we're going to look at the mighty T1 Heron fit for the Shadow War Guide, and we're going to cover some scanning, and we're going to run soloing these sites in the Heron. I shall see you in a mo. What is up everybody, how are you doing? Eaglefirefly here. Okay, so welcome back to this next video. We are looking at the Heron. Now, I had a couple of comments on a previous video, especially one request. I was actually yesterday or the day before about how to run these sites in a T1 fit and not die. Now, a couple of things with this. So this is the Heron. I'm going to go through the fit in a moment. There is some core skills that you are going to need to be able to do this. And there's going to be a little bit of cap management and being a bit awake, really, to be able to do this. So this isn't something that you're going to be able to sit and AFK and not actually think about your capacitor and things like that, and just do your hacking. You're actually going to have to be able to manage your capacitor. I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video, which you'll be able to transfer these skills over into other ships and other ways of doing things. But first of all, before we do that, I've got some great news. Okay, basically, CCP have announced that our partner rewards can now be used as 3-day Omega and 50 Plex. So, starting today, I've got various giveaways going on. So, starting today, we're going to put the giveaway live on this video. There's also a giveaway on the post. And yeah, so basically what I'm asking people to do is give me an example of some stories that you've got in some of your very, very early stories. I really like reading these, and I'll pick some winners out before the weekend's out so you guys can get that juicy Omega and that juicy Plex. And another thing I would just like to say, a dear friend of the community, Hateless. I haven't put anything on recently. It kind of caught me off guard, and it's been a bit of a sad time for us as a community. So I just want to pay my respects to Hateless Gaming. We've had some really good exchanges in the past. He recently helped me with the Evo preview mod, which was literally the last conversation that we had about before, sadly, yeah. So sadly he passed away. So anyway, we're going to go into this fit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the fit for this Heron, because that is the bit that everybody is interested in. So let's pop this up. Go here. Get rid of that. Okay, so the Heron. It's basically what would like to call a PvP. It's a bit of a PvP Heron with no tackle on it. You would ordinarily change out your data analyzer for a tackle mod. And the beauty of this Heron is that, okay, there's no guns up here, but we're not actually worried about guns at the moment in this, because what we do is, I could show you some kill mails. So I'll go in here. That's my skill tree. Go in here. And we'll go combat log losses. You can see all my juicy losses from the event. I've lost loads. But basically, we're going to go into kills here. And two examples here. So one here. Basically, this is what we do is we pull away from the warping point. And we do the furthest cans away. And what happens is that a lot of these ships that come in, they basically are brawl fit. They don't really have rails, so they're all short range. So all we do is we literally pull range, let the NPCs lock onto the target, web it down, newt it out, and you can clearly see here they've got no active mods. So it's all tank fit. So with no active mods, there's no way that they're going to be able to repair, and they're already locked down on the scram. So all we have to do at this point is basically launch our one drone and away you go. On this, I think I'm sure there should be more than one drone. 3 drones it should be, but for some reason there's only 1 drone in the bay. We'll go and fix that before we go into the site. You chuck your drones on, let it chip away at like it's measly 45 DPS, but it's enough with the NPCs to break the tank of the ships, and it will catch most things out. Unless you're coming up against a fleet of 3 or 4, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. You're going to warp out. But there's a tactic that you can do where you are able to escape. So we'll go through all those bits and bobs. Okay, so the fit. No guns on top because you are very, very tight on power grid. And the reason why you're tight on power grid is due to your capacitor battery and the flux coil to make it cap stable. It is cap stable. It doesn't look cap stable, but it is. So when you lock onto a node, this is what I'm talking about, cap management. When you lock onto a node and start hacking, you don't have to have everything running. So you don't need your afterburner. That's for one. And you are going to use that. And you are going to use that. However, what happens is if you look here, we are 0.5 gigajoules away from being cap stable. So we're 2.3%. Now, I'm just going to show down here. So we're going to run everything. Well, we're not going to run the afterburner. So we'll just do a bit of a demonstration. And then we're going to run the shield booster. Now, in the site, you're going to be neutered out quite heavily. And you will go from 2 minutes capacitor time down to about 45 seconds to a minute. So you're going to chew through that quite quickly. Now, each one of these rep cycles will do about 20, because it's a medium shield booster. We'll go through the items in a minute. We'll go through about a quarter of your shield repair. So when you're in the site, you'll notice it will slowly work its way down, and then, because it's basically very consistent damage. And then you'll activate your shield booster, and it will gain 25% rep each cycle. Now, what you can do is, there's my capacitor warning. If you watch how fast the capacitor charges, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, and then you can activate, and you can pulse that. Now, the tactic is, for example, let's assume for a moment that, are we near a Poco? We'll use this custom office as an example. Okay, so we're going to assume that the customs office is a node, a data node. Okay, so these are the kind of things that you can do to train yourself to do various things. You can also do this on the test server and all various bits and bobs. Okay, so we've just arrived at our data node and we're taking incoming damage. We're going to assume that we're being attacked, so we've got everything running. We're going to orbit this at 1000 because our range is 5000, so 1000 is going to be fine. Going to establish an orbit, and we're going to turn the AB off. Okay, so now we're going to lock this up, and we're going to assume that this is our data analyzing window. So the tactic is here is that we can do all our clicking and all our data analyzing. We're going to put the shield on a F2 hotkey or something like that, A hotkey. And we're going to do our site, and we're going to practice pulsing the shield booster, and we're going to give it 2 cycles and then pause. We're going to do a bit of clicking and so on. So that's the tactic. So you're going to open your analyzer, you're going to do you're going to do whatever analyzing you've got to do, and you're going to pulse the shield booster every 3 seconds with your F2 key. And all what you have done there is basically taught yourself to perma-tank this Heron against the sites. Okay, now that's a bit of a quirky way of learning without dying. You can do it on the test server, you can do it at a Poco, you can go and do it in a site, you can go and take one of these drone anomalies and go and practice against those. So it's all about practicing what you're doing. Now, if you are new to the game, this is not one of the easiest things to do, because you've got a couple of scenarios. You've got the fact that you've never done PvP before, So you're going to get the PvP jitters. The second somebody comes, the adrenaline's going to be pumping. You're likely going to die. So you've got to be able to make these decisions quickly. Now, I've died loads in this. I'm not a pro by any means, but having that little bit of an edge gives you all that practice, and that little bit of an edge will give you enough chance to win. Okay, so that's the overview done. We'll run it in a bit and see and put those tactics to use so you can see it live. So the fit, okay. Core probe launcher on the top, just a Tech 1 variation. These sites are very easy to scan down. We'll go through scanning in a moment. With T1 probes, there's no need to have anything. So let me just do this so I can just see what's going on in here. Ooh. There's no need to have anything expensive in here, just so I can see what's going on in here. No need to have any expensive. Sisters Core Probe launcher and Sisters Core Probes are going to bump your price up really well. This is 11 mil a pop. You're going to pull at least 50 million from each site, as providing that you can do it successfully. So you're always going to be ISK positive. Even with one site is going to make you ISK positive for about 4 or 5 sites. On the top row, on the mid row, we've got the medium shield booster. The Heron can only really fit a small, so that's why we're going to sacrifice on the launchers and guns, because we just don't have the power grid. And we've got the multi-spectrum shield hardener, compact battery to give us that cap stableness. Well, it's passive cap stable if you like, or active cap stable. You've got to make it happen. Then we've got data analyzer, which we need. We've gone for a T2 burner just for that extra speed. You could sacrifice this for a compact and then maybe squeeze a gun on, but you don't really need a gun, because if you get webbed and scrammed down and they're on top of you, you're not getting away. So there's no point. You could probably, but you're not going to outdo a Comet or a Hook Bill or anything like that. The Navy ships are more optimal for this, but it costs more risk. So you've got T2 damage control and then a capacitor flux coil, and that basically makes you increases the capacitor. So the flux coil, what that does, basically it gives you a capacity bonus. So it lowers the amount of capacitor that you have, but it increases the recharge rate. So it nets off as being faster recharge. That's why we can see it recharge so fast, and it'll give us them clutch reps when we need them. Okay, so that's the fit. In the rigs, we've got a bit more shinier rigs. This is what bumps the price up. So we've got a T2 ancillary current router, because we need to bump up the power grid as much as we can. As you can see here, it's very, very tight. And then we've got capacitor control circuits, again, to bump up that recharge rate. Okay, so how do you find the sites? This is the next part. So there's various different sites. Check out my other videos for those sites. The Imperial Couriers are the ones where you attack the NPCs. They warp away, and then you can unlock the salvage cans. They take quite a long time. It looks like somebody's running these right now. Likely the suspect that we've got in the system. So the data sites we need to scan down. So we're going to launch the probes, and then we will go into the probe window. Did they launch? Where's my probe window? Is it down here? Probe scanner. Nope. Oh, map. There we go. Okay, so probes. I highly recommend that you bind to your hotkeys, your Q and W, the range. That basically gives you the range of the probes. And what we're looking for here is these circles here, the red ones, the cosmic signatures. They're all the same size, so they likely are all what we're looking for, or there'll be a wormhole. So basically what you do is you can double click these signatures. You drop this probe or central probe into the middle, and then we'll get that down to 4 and analyze. Now there is a tactic that I've seen on some videos. Basically you can drop it near a celestial, because anomalies are apparently near celestials. I've not really had much evidence of that being a thing, but if it works for you, it works for you. So basically what we want to do is go over a signature, and then we want to reduce our scanning range and scan on each time that we do it. You can go over a signature and scan at the same range, but it is recommended to lower the probe distance or scan range every time that you scan one of these down. So these aren't actually anything that we need. We're looking for the data sites. Just let this cycle complete. So it might be this one over here near the celestial I was talking about. Let's do that. Let's try this theory out. Wait for it to scan. It's probably near that. It's very close. Do it again. Now, there is different formations of probes that you can have down here. So this is the one, the pinpoint formation, that we're trying to lock something down. Then you have the spread, and I think it's just the spread. The spread one is good for if you are doing combat probe launching. So that is what that's generally used for, to lock ships down. So you basically go into the system, you launch a spread formation, and then you try and get a lucky hit on something, and then usually your fleet that can then warp to it and kill it. Okay, so this is what we're looking for, the data site. Chances are we're going to get in here, and there's no suspects in local, so you want to look down here in local, have local open all the time, see what's going on. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now you will notice that I have been running these in Caldari space for the Amar objective. Now, I've had a little bit of trouble in the Caldari section of space doing these because it is heavily loaded with pirates, and that's and then we're going to warp to this. That's heavily reflected on the price, that how many data cores are on the actual market, because nobody's interested in travelling them all the way to Meteor. So it would be nice in the future if these get opened up into more areas of space, so that we can complete the objective for the factions. Or one thing I really would like to see is that if you're not aligned in faction warfare, that then you get a suspect timer. And if you are in faction warfare, and specifically in the faction warfare space that you're trying to complete, then you don't get a timer. A suspect timer. Okay, so we're going to activate this gate before anyone comes in. We are going to get a suspect flag. Now, it has two benefits to this fit, okay? Number one is that people are going to potentially challenge this because the Heron might not be a threat, because they think it might not be cap stable, so it's going to die. But as you can see, we're going to do okay here. So as you can see, it just completely takes away all of that. Now, you do have to manage your cap, so you kind of got to think here kind of quickly. We're just going to do this. We'll do this one because we're closer to this one. Okay, so we've got our orbit established. We can knock the burner off now, and we're going to listen out for our capacitor beeping tone, and we're just going to hack the site. And it is as simple as that. So you might see that my shield will start to go down, but I'm just, there we go. So that's the first one done. 5 million, so we're halfway to being S positive. S positive? What happened to that can? What happened there? Don't know what happened there. There we go. Yeah, it went. Okay, so one of the tactics. Turn the AB on. We've got the D-scan open here. So we've got it at 1 AU range and 360. It's much harder trying to talk you through this and do the thing at the same time. Probe launcher's done. Right, okay. Gonna unlock this. And away we go. Now, if you have like a Heron Navy issue or a Magnet Navy issue, this is going to be much easier. I actually tried to get a Damovic in here before, but you can't get a Damovic in here, which is a shame really, because that would have been a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, failed that one. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain some of this as we go along. So, I don't follow any of this, the myths, if you like, that people... Oh, look at that. That people talk about with scanning. I believe it's complete... There we go, we're risk efficient now. But we need to make sure we activate that. I don't follow any of these rules that people put on videos, simply because the rule of... Well, I've just proved it there for one. The rule of 6, is it the rule of 6? Doesn't generally always apply. You've got to watch out for that, especially when you're doing something like this. Because the more of these data sites that you complete, the more that RNG and basically luck starts to play its part, and a lot of things can start to make sense, even when you've when you've completed a lot of these. So I'll prove it for one. So if I run down the bottom here, there we go. So, ooh, not that one. If we were doing the rule of 6, we would say this node, this node, this node, this node, this node, this node first, and this node, I think. So we would do all of that node and probably come into some kind of lockdown node while we was doing that. Whereas if you run around the edge, you're completely bypassing where all of these are and following the number theory. So what I like to do, while I say we've got a flashy, okay, so we've got another Heron here now. So we're going to try this out, but we've only got one drone. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull away. Pull away the best we can. We're going to lock this Heron up. Stick a drone. Proceed with this dangerous act. So the Heron's going to warp away because it knew he was ready. Don't know why it said proceed with this dangerous act. It was flashy. Maybe I was trying to go for something that I shouldn't have been there. But the problem we've got now is I need to redo this. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to speed run through these now with a bit of music on. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's pretty hard to explain these while you do it. It's not one of the easiest things to do. But I hope you've enjoyed the video and got some information from it. I shall see you soon, and please make sure that you enter the giveaway. Alright, super. See you in a bit.